Okay, here's how I'm laying out the ribs for my horizontal stabilizer. The one in the middle where the bushings go. If you can see, right here and right here are the lines, the very inside of each tube. Which, come over here, I'll show you. This is one I already bent, and this one's ready to go. So, if you can see, the inside is coped. Maybe you can see it better this way. See, it's coped around the tube there, and coped around the tube there. So, what I intend to do with this one, same as I did last one, is I will cut all this out, and before, if I get this to focus, before I bend all this stuff, I'll drill a hole with my spade bits so that the edge, the tangent of the circle ends up right where that line is on both ends, this one and this one. And I'll cut this out and I'll bend these lines, and then I'll just snip off the ends and deburr everything. That's how I'm doing my elevator ribs, or horizontal stabilizer ribs. So here's this piece that I was just looking at with the holes drilled in one bend. Now obviously there's going to be a little waste on the end here, on both ends, but I do that so that the drill, when it's drilling the hole, doesn't grab loose metal or the edge of a metal, because all I'm using is a spade bit. I'll show you here. It's just a wood spade bit that I have cut down, because these little edges here are doing most of the. I mean, you got to punch a hole through with this, but this right here makes a nice cut. You got to deburr the hole, but it looks real nice. I've got a block that I've been drilling on. But this is what you get when you put it in the bender. And I have a small break here that I've modified with some angle iron, because what it came with is this angled piece here, and everything hits on this face when you bend. So I modified mine. So if you have to do such a thing or make your own, make sure that you do it with the angle like this. Like this. You want the small edge over here so you can cut your bend your 3/8, your ribs with 3/8 ends on this part here, and it will overhang. You'll still get your bend. I've got two pieces of angle here because this one's pretty thin and flexible, so I backed it up with this one, and I put a nut in the middle, or a bolt in the middle, to tighten, to clamp down in the middle if I need extra clamping force, just like that brace there on this one. And when you do this is going to bend more than this when you bend them. So just bend it, leave it clamped, and just push in on here, and maybe push out on the ends if you have to, because they'll overbend sometimes. You'll have a curve in your bend. And I'll try to show that here in a second. Here's bend number 2, and it's going to be kind of hard to tell with this camera. I can see it, in real life here, but it may be difficult to show. This part sticks out a little further than these ends, and that's because of these holes, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a professional, so I don't know for sure. I'm just speculating. But really all you have to do is, just add a little extra bend to the middle there, so everything is nice and parallel with this top piece here. And you can form it a little bit by hand, afterwards. But that's how she looks in the break. And I will try to show you how to deal with the ends, because you have to trim the ends. So I have to do everything by myself here. My wife is busy, so I can video what I can, and if I can, I'll just have to post pictures. Alright, this is going to be kind of tough to show. But what I like to do is, with these, see if you can see here where it starts to curl around. I know I could probably come a little further around this curve, but if you can see, there's like a faint line right there. I didn't put that line there, but that's about where I cut the last one. I'll just cut it up to that. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. And that's pretty close to being even on both sides. And a nice cope for the leading edge tube. Obviously, you're going to deburr all this stuff. And actually, with the leading edge tube, I didn't do it on the other one. I didn't do it on this one, but you can cut it at an angle. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect anything. In fact, I think the plans don't even show cope. So, doing the cope is above and beyond. But, that's okay. A lot of people do it. And you can see my markings in there. You can see how the hole is tangential to the the line for the inside measurement of the tubes. So you cut it off here, and this fits against the spar tube right there, and nice tight fit. And then you obviously these are half-inch, they're a little bit longer than half-inch wide, but with 1/8" rivet you want 2 times diameter. So my rivet's going to end up being, right in this area. But I'm trying to maintain as good of a standard as I can with this thing. It's a little close to the bend edge, but I think being close to the actual cut edge is worse than the bend. So I don't know. Leonard's shows a 1/4 inch here. I don't know why you would make it that thin, but he did it and it worked. So I'm just going to go a little thicker for a little extra safety. So about waste, these are all the pieces that I cut off of those two ribs I made. It's not a lot. I mean, it's probably 3/4 inch wide. So yeah, there's a little waste when it comes to this, but I like the look of the coped rib on the tube. It may not matter, for strength. I know most of the strength is in the gusset, but it looks nice, so I'm going to do it. Aluminum isn't that expensive. It's only 20 thousandths. If I need more, I'll buy more. Wix and Aircraft Sprues have it all day, so don't complain too much about waste. There's not a lot there, and if you're careful and do like I did there, and you get pretty close to the edge, you can cut your waste down. I don't care, so I didn't bother. So here's the completed ribs from all that work. I've made 2 of them, of course. They're pretty close to the same size. One of them is just a hair longer than the other, which will probably, here, I'll stick it in here. I've got this all kind of blocked in so that things don't move. So hopefully we can get a decent image here if it'll focus. There we go. That's pretty good, I think. So this one is the one that's a little short, so you can see it kind of overlaps my drawing for the bushing just a little, but that's okay. I don't really care if it's not equal. I mean, who cares? Yeah, it's probably 1/16 of an inch further out. I don't know that it matters, and I don't think I'm going to do anything about it. I'm just going to use it. That's how everything looks. And I have a piece of bushing stock. This is 2024. I'm pretty sure. May say it on here somewhere. But anyway, I have mine sized for the those eye bolts I showed in a previous video, so that the eye bolt will fit in here nice, and it's a little sloppy. So what I'll probably do is I'll countersink the end of each tube and extrude the gusset into it, so the gusset will be right through here and then out to here and then down, or something like that, And then I'll drill a smaller hole for the bushing, and then I'll use a center punch or something tapered to press the aluminum down into the tube, and extrude it into the tube. That'll lock the tube in place, and I won't have to use as much of that JB Weld, which is not, it's not a big deal, but I'm trying to cut down on weight when I can, even though I'm out of a bunch of stuff. But anyway, that's the center ribs. Maybe I'll make a few videos for the other ones. This one, this angle one here, I've got it drawn in here, but I erased most of it because I'm changing the location of it. I don't think I'll cope this one. I may cope this one, and I'm going to cope the end one. The root rib, I'll cope it, and then I think I'll probably put a rib from here to the middle of this angled one, just to keep this rib from deforming when you shrink the covering. It could pull it in. I've seen people do this, so it's not an original idea, but just a small rib here to keep this kind of braced so that it doesn't move. But that's how the tail's going so far. Making progress slowly but surely.